Welcome back to the CD Fitness Podcast. And this week we have a special guest who is a core group coaching client. Her name is Alexis Santos. She joined us 8 weeks ago on the beginning of her new health journey and lifestyle. And we're just vibing. Honestly, we connected on a really authentic and amazing level in just such a short time. And in this episode, we talk about a wide array of things, from the shifts that happened in our pandemic life and her endeavors in taking on online group coaching, her favorite workouts and foods, the hobbies that we have outside of fitness, and even diving into things like love languages, affirmations, and more. So I hope you all enjoy this one. It's a special episode, and it was an Ask Me Anything where we had questions from audience members as well as common questions that are asked from other clients or from prospects and community members of CD Fitness. So I hope that you are able to find out some value and get to know a little bit more about the CD Fitness community and a little bit more about myself as a coach and Alexis, who is one of my amazing clients. All right, and if you enjoyed this episode, please make sure to leave us a rating on Apple Podcasts or Spotify and leave a review.
Welcome to the CD Fitness Podcast, where our mission is to change the way women see themselves in order to show up optimally in all aspects of their life. We aim to improve knowledge, self-love, and the embodiment of the unique self on this earth. We prioritize health and nutrition education as well as coaching to empower women to make healthier decisions to live longer, achieve freedom from diet culture, and create a lifestyle that they truly want to live while supporting one another as a collective whole of badass women. I am your host, Cheryl D. Guzman, and also the founder of CD Fitness, Conscious Diligent Fitness.
We weren't seeing anybody. I was only seeing that person. So especially in the pandemic, maybe a lot of people can relate. Like, it was really hard to be in a relationship, be at home all the time, 24/7 with someone, and then like not be doing anything. And you're kind of just in each other's energy, in each other's space. And it's just like, I need space. And it kind of reveals a lot about like each other, maybe too much if you don't want to know. So yeah, that's what I was going through. And then eventually I got furloughed. So that ended and I wasn't working. And that was like halfway, that was like June or July.
That must have been such a shift to go from the super busy, multiple jobs, hustle culture to like a stop or a pause on your whole life. So what was that like, that transition?
That was a lot mentally, honestly, because it was like, shoot, what am I, like, who am I, honestly? When
outside
everything
of work?
when everything is taken away from you, like, who are you? And then those are the questions I was asking myself. And that was a huge, huge hit to like my mental health, like questioning my identity, questioning what am I going to do? And on top of that, I was like with someone who was kind of toxic too. So that wasn't helping. And we were just like really in this like not good place. So eventually that relationship ended too. And it was one of the hardest things I had to do was like walk away from that. But I took whatever strength that I had left. And then I was like, you know what, that's done. So now like I had no job, no relationship. The world's on pause, and that's where I was at. So I was sitting there literally by myself, like, what now? What are we doing? What's happening? So then like I started meditating, I started journaling, and it was like me confronting my thoughts, like, what am I here to do? What do I want to do? Who do I want to be? And I was like, okay, well, number one, I need to get like my act together. I need to get my life together. And that starts with like my mental and then like my physical. So then I figured like, okay, so I started like following fitness apps and like doing home workouts and stuff. I bought an air fryer. That was a craze at the time.
Yeah, they changed the game.
It did. Yeah. So I was doing that and I was taking steps, but like I was still lost. But like dibble dallying with like what is that word? Dabbling, dabbling into like health and just getting back on track, little by little. So
were you like previously invested in your health even before your career started and everything? So like, let's say in college or in high school, was that a part of your identity back then? Or was this newer in your adulthood?
So it actually was a part of my identity. I had tried different types of eating. Like, so I removed meat, like red meat and chicken. And then at one point I was like vegetarian, but then I realized like pescatarian works for my body. And then also I was dancing. At one point I thought I was going to be a dancer straight up. So I was taking a lot of class. I was training a lot. And so that was like my form of movement. So naturally my body, like I was always sweating and I was preparing my food. So I was like naturally like that lean body. So, yeah.
Were you in what is it, Via Modern?
I was in Via Modern, yes.
That's awesome. We never had Modern at U of I, so we always had our fashion shows where we would like have scenes of hip hop, but it was always the city colleges that had the modern groups. So like Via, Loyola, and U of I didn't. We just had cultural.
Yeah.
So, but
that's what I remember you from. You were part of cultural, right? Yeah.
Oh yeah, it was big, and I didn't even expect it to be such a big part of my life. But I think just one, like having the group environment in the community is really special, and then two, I think like dance provides a movement and also expression that like working out in a gym can't really provide.
Yeah, and then like that whole thing with like the group aspect of it, you're all working towards one thing, and that I really
and you
love
become
that.
like family. It's really interesting. Like I don't know, I mean, through the pandemic, but even just being an adult in general, it's hard to find necessarily that community of the same people who had the same interests as you. I think that's why I was drawn to CrossFit for so long. But I'm really trying to grow that aspect of community within the online space, like both virtually and in Chicago here, because I think a lot of women can really relate to a lot of what we're saying here. Is like we go through these phases of our lives and we're like, well, now what? And then you just have yourself, and that's all we've got.
Exactly. That's exactly it. No, so not to jump the gun, but just wanted to say like this whole group aspect has been really life-changing for me too, because it's adding that other sense of support, like you said, that we don't actually have like outside of college. You kind of have to form that yourself. So
yeah. Cool. Okay, so you started then going into like the different fitness apps. Like you mentioned that you were lost. I know a lot of people who have talked to me about like training or coaching or nutrition, like all of the things. So when you first came and chatted with me or just looked at CD Fitness's page, what was going through your head as far as like, what do I want to focus on? Was it the fitness aspect? Was it the food aspect? Was it really just like the mindset and the mental side? What was your first priority or focus?
Affected it to me. So
cool. Yeah. So a lot of times I get the question, so what is it like? Like, do you do group classes virtually? So how have you been getting your fitness on since you've signed up through Core?
So I use Trainerize, and that's the thing that you facilitated to me. And I was actually really surprised to know that other members don't use the same thing. Everybody's on their own path that's geared towards them. But for me, Trainerize worked the best because it does have explanations for everything. And it also has videos on how to do it. And that was the main thing that I was missing when I was doing these apps just from like fitness influencers. They'd have the movements, but it's like, what am I focusing on? What am I targeting? But with the Trainerize app, it was like, okay, you do this movement, this is what you're focusing on, and then you clench at the end, and then like at the end you
the butt clench.
And then
makes a difference. You feel sore the next day.
It does. You're really targeting like what like that booty gain, But So
we're all on that track together.
Yeah, so that you record your reps and then like you rate how hard it was. And that's a big thing for me, was like pushing myself to like really show how much effort am I really putting in, and like rating that effort. So that's why it's been so successful for me. And then when I'm able to comment and then you give me feedback too, like last feedback, you were like, you could definitely go heavier than lunges. And then I did. And I was like, God, I felt
She's
it.
right though.
Yeah, she was right. And I felt it. So yeah, that interaction and that accountability too, and the explanation. So all of it is what works.
Yeah. So a little bit more context around that. You're absolutely right. Everyone who comes into the group has the option to use Trainerize. So it's not like I'm leading a group class online and everyone follows. And the reason is I understand like everyone's schedule is so different. So come to the group coach calls as you need to, do your workouts as you need to, plan the food the way that you want to eat, but I'm here to guide each person through it. And the programming that I use for Alexis's program and the core group in general is really to help prepare anyone for general physical preparedness. So any type of physical skills that you would use in real life. So lunging, squatting, pressing, pushing, pulling, cardio capacity, breathing, all of that are things that we're using in real life. And what really impressed me about what Alexis has been doing is she's really coachable, and she has really taken the content in, because I gave a lesson on the 10 physical fitness skills, and she was like, oh, okay, like I really think I'd want to work on my speed. And you surprised me and you just started doing these speed intervals. So how was that? Like, how did you come up with doing that?
Well, so I took the inspiration from a past fitness app, but I knew that at the end, like this whole burnout thing, and you had talked about like a rage workout. So one day, classic me, I was like in my feelings, and I was like, yeah, I needed to just release that, and it was at the end of my workout, and so I thought that like I used to enjoy running, like cardio bunny before, so. From the app, it was like run as fast as you can for a minute and then off 30 seconds. And so that like you put on like whatever like aggressive music you want. And then I just like, I banged it out for 5.5 minutes, and I loved it. I was like, this is something I could do. I could feel the burn. It was doable, got my heart rate up, but it wasn't overwhelming. And I felt like so much of that endorphin release, and it like cured that rage or whatever.
So what's your rage music? What do you listen to when you're going hard?
Oh, it really, okay. So I'm a chameleon when it comes to music, because I like so many genres. So sometimes like you like that like hard, like dubstep electronic. And then sometimes I like that punk rock music. I've been really into Machine Gun Kelly, so I'm having a phase. Yeah. So those two genres.
That's dope. Very cool. Yeah. So I think what's been really a big part of your success and progress is just your ability to soak in information and then also apply it into action. Those are two separate skills, right? Like anyone can be a student and jot down notes and listen, but if you're not showing up into taking action, that doesn't really take you very far. And so we're in week 8 as of right now. How would you see this program, or what you've been doing in your daily life with regards to your fitness, your food, and even fulfillment? How has that benefited you?
Oh my gosh, I feel like that's such a big question. It's benefited me in so many ways. One of the nicest things I'll start off with is that I truly have a genuine outlook for life, and I look forward to every day now. Like I really do, because before I was like so lost and like, oh, I don't have a job and what am I doing? And now it's like I have a routine. I have things that I'm working towards. I have personal goals, and I start off my day like priming my mind and then working on my physical. So it's everything. And then after that, it's like I feel like I can tackle the entire day because I got myself straight. And so then you do that every day, and then I started to habit stack. Like now I can like read. who would have thought, you know? And so, yeah, within the 8 weeks, I feel like it's only been 8 weeks, but it feels like a long time when it's 8 weeks, but 7 times 8, that's 56 days. And you do something every day and repetitive, and it just becomes like your lifestyle. So I overall just feel like happier, more proud of myself, I feel confident, you know, and I feel healthier too. I like a lot of energy.
Nice. I love that. And that's one of the big themes that I really like to share with people who ask, like, oh, like, what do you do? Are you a personal trainer? And I'm like, kind of, but in a way, I really help women up level their energy and their confidence. And we do that through fitness and through food and through also enjoying your life, right? So, not just focusing on the science and being so hard on ourselves. So, like, how do you find that balance for yourself between being disciplined in routine and sticking to your habits, and then also having compassion for when you maybe have like a rough time or don't have motivation maybe?
You know what? It was actually the very first consultation call or app, whatever call we had when we first spoke on the phone. You did a mini training, and we set out my first goals. It was like, I'll eat home cooked meals 6 out of 7 days, and then I'll like do some movement 5 out of 7 days of the week. And then you
Wait, do you remember how you felt when you first said those things? Like, were
no,
you
I
like,
don't. I
I
don't. I
think
mean,
you were like nervous.
I was so nervous.
You're like, I don't even know. I don't even know if I move any day of the week.
Yeah.
And then I was like, and then we talked a little bit about like the difference between movement and exercise, and then kind of coached you through that, because I think language is really important, right? Because like
So
if I were just
important.
to say, Alexis, you're gonna work out really hard for 5 days, you're gonna be like, I don't think I want to do this. So you're just
No.
like, okay, I can move for 5 days. I think I could do that. But you were like kind of nervous. And then you blew that goal out of the water. Like you were you went to the gym, you were like sweating, you were doing yoga, all of that. So yeah, I mean
Oh,
it's yeah, so go on. But I'm just
sorry.
trying to
No.
say
Thank
you're
you.
yeah, like the confidence that you were talking about is just really radiating throughout your actions as well.
That's so nice. No, because at first it was one of those like I didn't want to let Cheryl down and look like
Mm.
a fraud. So that's why I definitely went hard. But as I did it, I realized it was possible. But what I was saying back in the first call, like you
You
made
real.
yeah, I
Fun.
am. Yeah, but you made these goals attainable, and you also said like, yeah, like some days if I was set to work out on a Thursday, but I'm really just not feeling well, and I'll just move it to another day. You said like some that's okay too. So like I realized before in my like negative mental that like I used to be so 100%, and if I couldn't get it 100%, like I failed. But like doing this has made me realize like, okay, I could do 5 out of 7 days. I could do 6 out of 7. And if I do four, maybe if I do five, you know, if I don't hit it all the way, that 75%, that 80% is so much better than the 100% that I was thinking of. And, you know, like then that's where you create the balance of like, okay, 80% of the time. And then you got time to do other things. So that's what really kept it easy for me, was like attainable goals and like not being so all in.
Mhm.
I hope I answered that question.
Yeah, yeah. No, that's really common, I would say, with the women I've talked to in CD Fitness. And I really believe that a lot of the way that I like see or live my lifestyle in fitness is the way that I attract others who come and become clients and become group members and become the community. Because I agree with that. Like I used to definitely be an all or nothing mindset, and I still sometimes fall into that. Like even like within the day, right? Like I used to track my calories, and if I missed one day, I was like, well, screw it, I'm not going to do it ever again. But like it's really just, it's not even just about like, are you doing the right thing or the wrong thing, but it's like what matters most to you. And if at this point in my life counting calories doesn't matter and other things do, like maybe tracking my finances or tracking my time is more important. So I just divert that energy to that place instead, instead of just being like, oh, forget it, and then you just give up.
Right.
So sustainability is key for sure.
Yeah. I definitely feel like this is something I could continue. Like I would want to continue. Like it's
Yeah.
just new lifestyle now. Like you said, sustainability.
Yeah. Let's talk a little bit about food. And I know people are always curious because you said one of your goals previously was to cook for at home for 6 out of 7 days a week. So how's that going? And what's your typical day of eating look like?
So yeah, you and I have been working on like eating at consistent times, and for this past week, it's been working because I get hungry at those times now, and like I'll get hangry if I don't eat at those times. So typically, I'll have a protein smoothie in the morning right after my workout, and I was so nervous of taking protein. I was like, oh my god, like that's so weird. Like, am I gonna be one of those like thick girls? Protein, like like but you were just telling me that that's important.
My code,
Yeah.
15% off.
Exactly. But you're telling me it's important to have that balance, like you can't have all those carbs and whatever. So I was like, I shouldn't be afraid of that if that's fueling my body. So I have that, and then lunch changes, but sometimes I really gravitate towards Buddha bowls. I love those, and like so brown rice, and then whatever vegetables I have. I always have like salmon too. I could eat salmon every day. And honestly, I've tried other proteins. I don't know. I could just eat it every day. And then it changes too. And then at night, I have like, I don't know. I sound really boring, but I could just have like
Nothing's boring.
my air fried broccoli that I fell in love with, more
Nice.
brown rice, sometimes salad. I don't know. It changes, but I don't know. I could eat the same thing every day. So
Yeah. So it sounds like basically just your staples of carbs, protein,
Mhm.
vegetables. What types of healthy fats do you like?
Oh, avocados.
Mm.
Avocados for sure. Like avocado toast.
Oh yeah, did you start doing that with your protein shake now?
Yeah. Yeah.
Good.
Avocado toast and then like an egg on top. Fire.
Mm. With the everything but the bagel seasoning.
Ooh, yeah, I have that. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Gotta get that. That's awesome. And what you're eating now, would you say that it is more than what you were eating before? And how has that changed your body?
It is more than I was eating before because I was only eating like two meals a day, and I was definitely inactive, so I felt like I was really full.
Mm.
But now that I'm working out and I am more active in the day, like I need to eat that in order to like feel satiated and not hangry. And
Mhm.
also like before I used to be so scared like to eat, so like that's not even that much, but to eat 3 meals, I was like, oh, what am I gonna eat? It was so
Mhm.
daunting, and then now it's like I look forward to that. Um, yeah, I'm not afraid to eat anymore because I know like the next day,
Mm.
like I'm probably gonna like not beat myself up, but like go hard, and like it has fueled myself to,
Mhm.
yeah.
Can you tell me a little bit more? We can talk about this because I think this topic can get pretty heavy for the most part. But just why maybe you might think that you had that fear around food, or why 3 meals a day was daunting for you before you started.
Oh, I feel like a lot of females go through this where it's like you just eat less and you'll be skinny.
Mm.
That's like that toxic female mindset. And I definitely like got sucked into that for a long period of time. I definitely had body dysmorphia. I definitely wanted to like be thin. And so like it was just that mindset of like, oh, if I eat less and stay in this deficit, then I'll lose weight. So
Mhm.
like it was scary to eat, but it's like, no, like you need to eat to fuel your body if you're gonna want to do things and be productive.
True, very true. Productive. And like you mentioned earlier in this discussion, how happy you're feeling, and like food is also pleasurable. Like it is fuel, it is calories, it is energy, but our bodies do actually receive food and is like happy because we're like, ooh, this
Hmm.
tastes good, or like, ooh, I made this, I'm proud of it. Or even just that feeling of like, I deserve this. And we do a lot of that kind of discussion within CD Fitness of like tying our mindset and our language to the practice of what we
Hmm.
do. And diet culture is everywhere. It's like a multi-billion-dollar industry. The marketing for diet culture right before New Year's like pumps up into like the millions of dollars so that women can go on these crash diets, or they could pay these coaches who knows where, tons of money just to crash diet and start in cycles again. Did you ever go through any of that like as a cycle previously with food or with exercise?
Oh my God, yeah. Definitely like tried to do like the juice cleanse. That was a huge thing. And we were just trying to juice, and then you drop all this weight. I definitely did that. And then like I did lose a little bit of weight, but then I was just so hungry, And then like you gain it back, and it's
Mm.
not, that's not good.
Yeah. How about like when you have more fun with food, or like you have the days or like a night out or something, and how's that experience for you now that you're more invested into your health? Are you super restrictive? I know you're not, but like how is that mentally for you to be able to enjoy yourself still with food?
Yeah, so actually recently I went out for my birthday. So that was the thing. I was like, my mom really wanted to go to like a nice restaurant and all that stuff. So I knew I like wasn't gonna restrict myself. However, I also knew that I wasn't gonna go in and like eat as much as I used to before, and like also not fill up on like the bread.
Mm-hmm.
So it was just like intuitively just knew that like I'm gonna enjoy myself, just not out of my meat, like out of my means, of
Mm-hmm.
eating. And it wasn't guilty at all either. Usually I would be so guilty the next day, like,
Mm-hmm.
damn.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Sounds like your relationship with food has shifted.
It definitely
And
has.
you mentioned intuitively you're kind of making choices and picking foods. So, have you counted a single calorie throughout these last 8 weeks?
I have not at all. Not one. And I just like follow like at least I'm having like a half plate of vegetables. I got my decent amount of protein and some carbs, sometimes the fat. Just throw it in there. Don't overeat. Eat when you're satiated, or finish when you're satiated, and then that's it. Yeah. And when you're hungry, eat.
That's dope. I love that you made it super simple. Like I know sometimes I sound like a broken record, but I think it's really nice to know that you can make changes to your energy, to your body, even without counting calories. Like I know that's one really big hesitation for a lot of women, like this this feeling of like, oh, I don't like counting calories, or I feel
hmm
restricted or something. Or even, have you used MyFitnessPal at all?
Yeah, in the past I did, but it was like, what is this? Why am I tracking this spinach that's like 10 calories? Like what? You know, like what am I
Like
doing?
the three handfuls of spinach that
Yeah.
turns into like this much. Yeah. So what's nice about it is that if you really do want to get specific about your body composition numbers, or like you have some sort of weight class that you need to meet if you're an athlete, like it's great for that. But the calculations that MyFitnessPal sets for like all women, I swear it's like 1,200 calories for everyone. Like, how is that
hmm
possible?
Mm-mm.
Someone that's my size, and then someone who is maybe 20 pounds and has muscle, like both need 1,200 calories? Definitely
Mm-mm.
not. And coming to the program with your goals of wanting to feel better and just prioritize yourself, intuitive eating is a great approach for that, and it's, like you said, sustainable. So I'm glad that you're finding that intuition. How would you maybe give advice to someone who is wanting to just get started with feeling better or being more confident?
Ooh, advice. So just starting from like nothing, nowhere. That's a lot. That's a heavy question.
Just give maybe like a couple of things that like, imagine your best friend maybe, or maybe like someone you really love, and some advice that you might give them, if they're just looking to get started.
Get started like fitness, or get started like mentally? Because there's like I went in steps.
Either one, maybe one in both.
Okay, so for me, I had to start with my mental in order to even move to my physical, right? Like I could, if like you can't get out of bed, how are you gonna move, right? So for me, the meditation, I know it sounds like such a broken record. Like everybody's like meditate and meditate, but what that really, what that really means though is you take like 5 or 10 minutes out of your day to choose yourself and your own mind and your own sanity. So if you start there, you're like, okay, start there, just like relax, like you forget all your worries, forget all the bullshit, what you got to do today, what your bad dream was last night, and you just choose yourself for 10 minutes. I would say start there. And then, I don't know, journaling really helps me because it helps me organize my thoughts. So organize myself, let all like the bullshit out of what I was thinking, and then I write down things that I'm grateful for. So I prime my mind in that way to just like, be mindful and then be grateful. And then, so if you get that down and you want to start moving, then just little things like go for a walk outside for like 10 minutes, and then like, I don't know, look up a yoga thing that's only 10 minutes. And you just start really small. Or like if it's even harder for you, just like, okay, I'm going to put workout clothes on today. Little things like that. Because like once we start thinking of like the whole daunting, like, oh my God, this like 30-minute workout and da da da, you got to build yourself up from like the little things that like people don't talk about enough. Like it's hard to like get up and put your clothes on and choose workout clothes and get to the gym. So like when you start like those little things first and you start building that up, then you can start doing bigger things. And then all of a sudden I'm working out 5 times a week, adding rage workouts and cooking home every day. It's like, who is this person? I don't know, but I started from there. So that's the advice I give, is start really small, attainable goals. Yeah.
That's really dope. And I could hear how like passionate you are about that, because it's really you really just kind of continued to level up throughout that process. And I think another thing that isn't talked about a lot or normalized is celebrating ourselves, or like being proud of ourselves. And what I've loved about this last core group is that I've been hearing that more, and it like makes my heart sing when our clients are like, I'm proud of myself for, and I'm like, yes, 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 because I mean, whether it was from my childhood or just like being a woman or even a woman of color, it's like we don't do that. Like we kind of like brush off our accomplishments, like, oh yeah, I mean, I did okay, but like turning that around and celebrating ourselves and acknowledging the efforts that you're putting in towards your best life really need to be celebrated, because even the smallest wins accumulate. Like 1% better every day is going to make you so much better next year. And
100%. Wow.
I love the idea of the small actions. And one of the books that we were reading in our Healthy Habits group is Atomic Habits by James Clear. So if you all haven't heard of that book before, either buy it or listen to it on audio, because a lot of the teachings in CD Fitness are really aligned with James Clear's Atomic Habits, because the little things really go a long way. And I'm really impressed that you story told about how it started with your mental and then went into your physical, because that's conscious diligent fitness. Like it's your conscious awareness. And like you got to know yourself, you got to know your bullshit, you got to know your truth. And if you don't, you're just going through the motions,
right?
Whoa. And then you can become diligent about the little tiny actions, and then just doing it every day and actually looking forward to waking up and being like, wow, this is the life that I chose or I created, and I'm living into my purpose, right? So yeah,
goosebumps.
It's not a broken record for you to say like, hey, meditation, I think it's amazing. Like the more that I meet more people who are cognizant of their consciousness and themselves, it's really nice to have people like that and have friends like that in your circle. And I wish I had started that earlier in my life. Like I was actually explaining to someone the other day about how probably when we were in college, like I was similar in your position where like, we followed hustle culture and just did all the things, like never stopped. And I am thinking about it, I don't even feel like I was in my body some of the time. Like my
No.
mind was somewhere and then my body was like, how did I what am I doing here? Like, how did I have all of these things on my calendar and what did I even do? So really this pandemic has allowed me to like slow down and meditation really is a game changer for just knowing yourself and knowing what you're doing with our one life.
Exactly. It was definitely like revealing, right? Like confronting yourself, like, okay, who am I? What am I up to? What do I want to do? Like, how am I going to use my time? I just also wanted to go back to the one thing you mentioned that really stood out to me was that like in our cultures, how we don't ever acknowledge that like little wins. It's like, especially coming from like that Asian background of like, okay, my mom, like not to like call out my mom on
We
a
love
live,
them. We love
but yeah,
them, but sometimes, it's a different generation and it's okay. We love them regardless. I
yeah.
know what
And
you
I know
mean.
she did it out of love, but it was always like, if I ever like won first place, they'd always be like, okay, well, do it next time. And it's like, oh, like if I ever got a good grade, it was like, great, cool, do it next time again. And it was never like I'm letting you celebrate this win. It was always just like, sure,
Yeah.
that's what it's supposed to be. And it's like,
Yes.
no, it's not supposed to just be like that. I worked really hard to get that, you
Yeah.
know? Yeah,
Yeah, it's not like we were just born into this idea of being the best at everything we do. Like
exactly.
we yeah, like we develop skills, we earn those
Hmm.
celebrations or those wins and again, they did it out of love. They did it for
Hmm.
really pushing us in a certain way, but I think we have a really interesting opportunity to tell the story differently to our generation
Yeah,
and then even to our kids and then following because it's yeah, I mean it has an effect on the mental, but
it
we're changing
does.
that. We're changing that.
Yeah, we are. We are. One small
um
win at a time.
oh yeah. Let's go into some fun questions about your favorites and least favorites. So when it comes to exercises, what is your favorite and what do you not like so much?
Okay, well, you already know the answer to this question, and it's burpees. Burpees kick my ass. But it's because like I don't have that much like, well, I'm growing it now. I'm working on it. So my arm strength was very non-existent. And so like when you do that burpee and then you're gonna do that push-up at the end, it just kills me. And in the beginning when I started, I could barely do one. And now I can do them a little bit more. And now I can do them just a little bit faster. And like every time I could just feel my heart just like pounding and pounding. And it's like I could feel my heart getting stronger. And after every time I'm always so wrecked. But every time I do it again, I get better at it. So like I hate it in the moment, but I love it for what it's doing to me. So that's my hate love relationship with burpees.
I love that. Yeah. You're again like with your intuition and being so in tune to your mind and your body, it's like some people don't even know what they're thinking when they're doing burpees, right? But like you feel your heart, like you feel yourself getting stronger. Like everything is very symbolic and conscious diligent fitness. You're meant to be here. You're meant to
Um,
be
in
here.
alignment. Oh,
You're gonna love burpees. Like we talk a year from now, you're gonna be like, I'm the shit at burpees. I'm like,
yeah.
yeah, you are, Alexis.
I
Yeah, you
hope so. Yeah.
I'm trying to see. I have you ever used the rowing machine?
No, but there is one in my gym and it's like nerve wracking for me. So
Ooh,
that
okay.
should be a goal or something, a challenge.
Yeah. You should do one of your sprint rages on the rower. Ooh.
Okay.
That's probably my that's probably my hate love exercise.
Really? Why?
Yeah, it's well, first off, when I first started um like when I first met the rower, I had no idea what I was doing. I was like, oh, this isn't bad. And then I like realized I wasn't really working that hard. And I'm a little bit shamed to say that because I'm like doing this row for 500 meters, and 500 meters for like a decently moderate pace is, 2 minutes to 2:10 for women. And I think it took me like 3.5 minutes to do it. So I was just kind of like taking a little roll in the river. But when I started to learn how to row, for one, I'm short. I'm 5 feet, so the row is biased to taller folks because if you have longer legs and a longer pull, like you're going to go further with one stroke. So I used to
Wow.
train with a lot of my teammates, and they're taller than me. So it'd be like for every two strokes, they get one, um, and then and then my lungs are smaller, and it's just it burns. Like I'd rather sprint run than row sprint because it
Wow.
just burns. I don't know if it's because you're like contracting your ab this way. I don't know. But that's my love hate. I'd say try it out. Everyone's got a different love hate, but tall people love the rower.
Not tall people.
You let me know. You let me know how you
I'm
like
not
it.
even that tall. I'm like 5'5", so it's fine.
So
But I'll let you
funny.
know.
So I haven't seen you in forever, right? And I didn't know what your height was. So when we did the photo shoot on Friday, I was like, dang, she's a decent amount taller than me. And then random thing about 5'5". Do you remember that song, Caramel by City High?
No, I don't know that song.
Oh my God, you gotta listen to it now after this. But it was like
Okay.
when we were in middle school, and the singer goes 5'5" with brown eyes, whatever. And I was like, when I was younger, I was like, oh, I really want to be 5'5"
No.
because I thought that at 5'5", like I'd have like those nice long legs, and like I think that'd be like a very versatile height for a woman, and all of these like standards, right, set by who knows. But I never got past 5'1.5", and so that's just random. I think you're the perfect height in my opinion.
Oh, thank you. That's so nice. Sometimes I'm like, don't want to wear heels. I don't want to be taller than some guys. So like, everybody has their own opinion about their own like
Hmm.
height, which is so silly. So
Yeah,
it's all subjective. So yeah, the
totally.
fact that you're like you own it, like you're like a little like beast in a small body. So that's awesome.
Yes, I think that's what I've developed over the last years, because other than that, I could look like a 12-year-old if I wanted
No, not 12-year old.
let's see, what's your favorite food, and then your least favorite food?
So I don't have a least favorite food because I choose not to eat anything I don't like. My
Mm.
favorite food, this is so like, okay, so if I'm like gonna order something from a restaurant, I love sushi, but I'm so basic, and like the favorite food that I love to cook is like salmon. It's just so boring. But sushi
Yum.
though, sushi, that's my shit. Sorry
Yeah.
if I could swear, sorry.
Oh, it's fine. Um, we get passionate, it's
Yeah.
like let it out. So funny you mentioned sushi. I love sushi as well. But when the world like shut down during the pandemic last year, me, my boyfriend, my brother and sister, our last like meal out was sushi.
Mm.
And then like just recently when we could eat indoors again, we got sushi. So like we really liked it because oh, and then Korean barbecue. There was like one time
Mm.
we got three in a row, and I'm not even really that big into red meat, but when it comes to Korean barbecue, so good.
The way that it's
Oh
like
man, it gets me full.
marinated. Yeah.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Yeah, but I definitely feel some type of way afterwards.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then what about your favorite hobbies? Like, what do you like to do in your free time? I know you mentioned you were a dancer, you love genres of music.
Yeah, so I love playing guitar. I used to play all the time, and then I was having this like weird identity crisis, and then I picked it back up again recently. So that's been something that like I actually added to like my day. like after I get my morning routine done, and then I can play some guitar, and it's like my fire and like passion has reignited, just like because I'm so excited every day now. Like I'm excited to do other things too. So I've been
Nice.
practicing a lot of guitar. I've been getting like my calluses back. My fingers are like torn up. But yeah, it's just another one of those things that like I get to like work on and like have another goal on. So yeah, that's what I've been working on, just like personally for me. I'm not even performing for anyone. I'm not doing it for anyone else. I'm just doing it because I enjoy it. So yeah.
That's so cool. Good for you. I mean, whatever fills your cup, that's another pillar of CD Fitness, is that fulfillment aspect. Cool. And
Wait, what are your hobbies besides working out? I want to know. What does Cheryl do when she's not being a fitness person?
That's funny. That's a great question. I I like playing just sports in general. So I think we're gonna go golfing tomorrow with another couple. And so we picked that up last year during the pandemic because it was an outdoor sport. My family really likes to play volleyball in the summertime, so we'll probably start doing that. Um, and aside from that, like writing, like aside from
Oh.
journaling, I yeah, so I used to teach language arts, and thank goodness I wasn't a math teacher. That was my first major. Turned into a communications major, then an elementary ed teacher. I taught English, and I really loved teaching reading and writing. I love to read and write myself, so I do a lot of that. I think that's like the extent of my creativity. I was somewhat musical in grade school and high school, but it didn't get in touch with me in the same way that like writing and even like writing poetry. And I haven't gotten into like songwriting. I think before I was like into that, like, ooh, maybe I'm gonna be a rapper or like a songwriter or something.
Yes.
But probably not. I'll write a song for other people to sing.
Right.
But yeah, I'm working on a project that's a personal project that's related to writing, and I'll probably share that in the summertime. But those
Ooh,
are
are
my
we gonna have a
hobbies.
book from Cheryl? A book?
Maybe.
That's
Listen.
exciting. Wow, I never knew that. I'm really glad I asked. Like, what is she besides fitness? So it's like really nice to know. So I take it that your love language is words of affirmation.
Actually, one of them, yeah.
Mhm.
I think they shifted during the pandemic. Physical touch actually is my primary, I think. And I think a lot of that
Oh.
was like growing up. Yeah, so actually, each of my love languages, I would say I got from each of my parents. So, like, growing up, I was really like my dad's girl, and I was his firstborn and
Mm-hmm.
whatnot. I was really clingy to him and stuff. But he was very affectionate physically. So, like, always giving hugs and like kisses and like always holding my mom's hand. Like, I just saw that a lot as a sign of
Mm-hmm.
affection. And I think that carried over into just my primary love language. And then words of affirmation came from my mom because she was working a lot more, but she was similar to what you were explaining with your mom of like, okay, good job, like let's do that
Yeah.
again next time. And I always sought that affirmation from her. And then that just transferred over into my adult life. So in the pandemic, when we were on lockdown, Jamie and I weren't living together, so physical touch just kind of like went down the ladder.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was not in contact with anyone, and in my household where I was living with my parents and like my sister, we didn't like hug each other. Like,
Yeah.
it's just not a thing. So words of affirmation and became kind of like the first, and then maybe acts of service.
Yeah.
I'm not sure, they change. How about you? What are I don't really know. This is like
Really? You couldn't tell? Mine is words of I just took the quiz again 2 weeks ago because like you said, they change.
yeah.
I don't know why I'm bringing this up, but because like you said, they changed, so it was just on my mind. So words of affirmation and then physical touch, and then those are like top two within like percentages of each other. They're like almost equal.
Okay.
And then after that is acts of service, and then like gifts is like wait, like I don't care about gifts at all. So yeah, I definitely am a big words person, just like you. Like I also used to like be in like slam poetry when I was in high school. Yeah,
Dope.
like the poetry team, that they had teams for that. I loved creative
That's so,
writing. Yeah.
wait, where did you go to high school?
I went to OPRF, Oak Park River Forest High School.
Okay. You're pretty far
Hmm.
from me. That's so
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, so I was on the slam team, poetry. I loved doing that. So I was just like always creative. And then yeah, like I always knew like when somebody like said something and like just trying to like trigger me or something, I would get really hurt by words. So words really matter to me. So I really resonate with you on that about like, like in your coaching when you say I am gonna da 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 da, that like really stuck with me of like how to like stick with your goals and like affirm like this is what I'm gonna do. So
Yeah.
just
Well,
to
not
tie it
even
all
just
back together.
what you're going to do, but who you are, right? So
Yeah.
even taking it a step further and taking away, this is something I learned from one of my friends, and she's helped me with it, is like the difference between like going to do it or wanting to do it and then just like saying that you are, because
Yeah.
you do what you are, and like you act
Yeah.
as who you are. So it's like,
Wow.
instead of I'm going to, it's just I am living my best life. I am confident in my skin, as opposed to like I want to be confident, or like,
Right.
you know.
Damn, that's heavy. That hit me. I felt that.
I have this whole like folder of affirmations. I'll just show real quickly.
Yeah.
But this is what I'd been working on since January 4th, affirmations. So there's like
That's
some writing in
beautiful.
there.
Yeah.
But it's a hard practice, because yeah, going back to that conversation of just not really like knowing ourselves in that way, but we're
Hmm.
changing that narrative now.
We are. Oh, wait, I'm curious. What are your like affirmations for this week?
Ooh. I am an energy attractor.
Ooh.
Another one I had was I am flowing with creativity.
Yes.
Let's see, this is one more. I am a focused planner.
Wow. Those are
Yeah,
all huge.
I've got a few. How about you? What's some things that you would like to affirm and put into the universe today?
So I always have some different ones for every week. It's usually 3, just like you mentioned. So I've been working on being really rooted. So one of my affirmations is I am grounded, and like I am secure and safe. And then another one is I am brave. So
Oh,
those are the ones I'm working on, just being like brave, grounded, and secure. So just
ooh.
like, yeah.
It's really interesting that, because we're into like the zodiac signs and stuff too, but
Yeah.
I know you're a Pisces, and like
Hmm.
you have both the security and groundedness, but then you also have the bravery. So it's like those two like ends, but like are contrasting, but
Hmm.
so you. Those are so
Are they?
you.
I feel like they're so off because like I found it funny that you were like writing like I am creative, because like you just mentioned like, oh, writing, that's the extent of my creativity. So you're affirming that you want to be more creative. For me, I'm like a little too flowy and all over the place. So that's why I'm affirming like I need to be grounded and I need to be like secure. So like we're all like, I can tell that we're affirming things that like we don't naturally have. So like, and the fact that like you're conscious of what you need to be focusing on too. Conscious, diligent. It's like, it's really nice. It's like, it really shows like that self-awareness. So,
Yeah, thank you. Thanks
yeah.
for asking these questions as well. I think, oh, and it's interesting you said that I am safe and secure. That was one of mine in February, as well, as I was like really going through some emotional ups and downs and some stressors in life. And just by saying that is already
Mm-hmm.
like makes you feel better. And like, and then like everything that happens allows you to see you're good, like life is fine, you're
Yes.
sick, you're safe.
Yes.
Like
Yes.
it's really interesting. And I don't know if everyone's still listening to this, like this is the
I,
good stuff. This is
I
the good
know.
stuff.
We're just vibing now.
Yes, I know. We got to do this more.
I know.
So as we go forward into this new year, seems like last year was 2019, but what would you say you're really looking forward to?
What I'm looking forward to is actually, I didn't mention this to you yet, so I'm looking forward to trying one-on-one with you, and like taking it a step further, and like instead of like group, going one-on-one. So this is like news to everyone and you. So hopefully, if you'll have me.
Oh, girl, please. Like, that's awesome. I was actually remember one of my affirmations this week is I am an energy attractor. And we were texting before this last night. We're like, well, we have good chemistry. I think it'll be fine. Like, I honestly, I love like everyone that I have been working with, I love to work with. So I would be honored to work with you one on one.
So nice. Oh my God, I just got accepted live. It's
like I joke with like some of my like really deep friendships that like we have like babies together because like babies take a long time to conceive and then birth and then develop. So it's just like every new chapter of my relationship with someone is like, okay, we're like creating a new baby, and that baby is like your up leveling into your next level of fitness. I don't know.
I love that.
I like joke about everything.
Is this like, what, are we pregnant? What is that? Sorry, too far.
No, it's all good. It's all good. We are mothering and parenting ourselves and everything we're working on.
Yes, reparenting ourselves. That's a big one.
Yeah, very true. That's so cool. Well, I'm excited. Anything else you're looking forward to and the next coming year?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to like completely changing my identity from who I used to be, and I feel like I'm emerging now. So whoever that person is, I feel like I'm really blossoming into her. I'm not making any putting any pressure or putting any labels, but I'm just really looking forward to just like changing, like who I am. Yeah, that's it.
Amazing. That's so cool. This was so much fun, Alexis. Thanks so much for hopping on here and vibing today and just answering some questions and allowing me and our audience to get to know you a little bit more.
That's so nice. Thank you so much for having me. I felt so honored. Like, why would anyone have to hear what I have to say? But I really enjoyed like us vibing. We should definitely do this more often. I'm excited to birth something with you. How do I say that?
This was like the intercourse exchange. It felt that good. Like, all right, I feel great.
Yeah,
now
me too.
We're gonna do this. I love it. Thanks, Alexis. I'm gonna stop the recording now.
Okay. All right. Bye, everyone.
Bye, guys.